Maria Ressa is the CEO and executive editor of Rappler, a social news network in the Philippines. Maria has been a journalist in Asia for more than 25 years, most of them as CNN's bureau chief in Manila, then Jakarta. Despite documenting some of the world's worst disasters and uprisings in Southeast Asia, she believes in the goodness of human nature and in the transformative powers of media and technology. Ladies and gentlemen, the CEO and executive editor of Rappler, Maria Ressa.
Hello, good afternoon. I hope you all had a great lunch. It was such a packed room, and I love this venue. But I only have 7 minutes, so I will quickly take you through the ideas that are rocking our world. For me, Rappler is a little more than 3.5 years old, and we've done things with technology that I would never have thought possible with media. Let me take you through. Let's start here. How can we actually move our world, right? What is the big difference that's there? And it's really this, that line of disruption. And I think you've heard a lot of CEOs speaking this morning, and you'll hear more. Nick's right after me, actually. You see this. Media companies in the past grew in a linear manner. If you grew 10% the next year, that's fantastic. But with technology, with social media, which has an exponential growth curve, you can actually take it and see that area of disruption. Rappler isn't quite in that hockey stick, but it spans in that area of disruption, meaning our growth rates are much higher than you would have expected from traditional media. What triggered it? Social media. And I want to show you both the good and the bad of social media, and they're all on this slide. On the right side, you can kind of see this community that formed. Did you know that the largest Twitter movement, a global movement that happened on Twitter, happened here in the Philippines? 41 million tweets in a 24-hour period. That cloud there is full of Filipinos tweeting about Aldab. Right? We do it. We do it for Aldab. So I always wonder, could we do it for more than Aldab? Probably the most virulent, let's call it evil. If Aldab is full of love, the left side is full of hate. This group posts more than 200,000 pieces of social media content in a day. And it has brought more than 30,000 fighters in a little more than 3 years to Syria and Iraq, ISIS. I'd say they're better than most organizations in how they handle social media. It's important to look at this because of this. What happens on social media is only the tip of the iceberg. And social media is a game changer because it's literally playing with your emotions and rewiring your brains. So if you look, this is how we look at it, and really the secret to Rappler's success, and I think the secret of your company's push into this new digital age. If you think about it like this, that social networks are your physical family and friends. We know this, right? We talk to our family and friends. We trust our family and friends. But social media are your family and friends without boundaries of time and space. It's your family and friends on steroids. And that's what this shows. So this is the way I see the world. The top, the post, the tweet, is only the tip of the iceberg. Every post you push out carries an emotion. And you know, the Gallup 2013 poll said that the Philippines is the most emotional country in the world. Singapore is the least emotional. So here in Southeast Asia, right? So it carries an emotion. That emotion travels over the social network, your social media networks. And because that travels and affects each one of the people who sees it, you can change behavior. We can see this. Look at Aldab. and look at ISIS. It is so potent with ISIS that it convinces 15 and 16-year-old British girls to leave their family, to leave their homes, and go to Syria to fight a jihad. How is that possible, right? So this is the way we see the world. This is Rappler. Rappler is still, our core is journalism, the discipline of traditional professional journalism. But we tied it with technology. That technology is the one that will give you that hockey stick growth, the potential to reach far more people than you have. In fact, right now, we're live streaming on Facebook. We're alpha testing it. So, showing this on Facebook is amazing because now you have TV in your pocket, right? Technology does that. And then if you embrace the last part, your community, the crowd, the wisdom of the crowd. This is where Rappler sits, smack in the middle. We use social media, crowdsourcing, and then big data, the three tech developments that is changing information and the pace of change. Here's the other part. The pace of change has accelerated so fast. And you can see it, you can feel it, right? I normally say, actually, if you look at the S&P 500 companies, they've got to worry about it. Even if you're large, there is no armor against change. It's moving so fast that information, let's say before it used to travel over 85 years, the lifespan of a human being. Now it travels in the lifespan of a fruit fly. You know how long that is? 2 weeks. You've collapsed what we used to learn in 85 years into 2 weeks. That's the pace of change. That's the pace of information. I'm going to end with two things to show you. This is our foray, an APEC SME. Bravo to the SMEs because, as you must have heard from Doris, 90% of the country's economy from it. This is our foray in Indonesia. Little Rappler, after being less than 2 years old, moved into Jakarta, and that is the community that we got with one story, Tragedy Mina, the tragedy in Saudi Arabia during the Mecca, during the Hajj, right? And that you can see is our Indonesian community connected to the rest of the world. Here's the other part. When you connect people on social media, this is a tool that we built to monitor our communities. It's called Reach. But this can also show us how we can move society to act. And I'll show you an example of that. If you remember Mary Jane Veloso, a Filipina who was jailed and was sentenced to death in Indonesia, she was supposed to be executed on a Tuesday. Our story, because our reporter in Jakarta could speak both Bahasa Indonesia and Tagalog, she actually got great access to it and was able to do justice to Mary Jane's story because she had been shunted aside by the foreign networks, by the foreign media who focused on the Bali Nine, the Australians. When we told her story, people began to realize that she looked like she had been duped into carrying the drugs into Indonesia. And so you can see from March 31, when the hashtag was just introducing to you, hashtag Mary Jane, telling you her story, to hashtag Save Mary Jane on April 26, and then on April 26, that's a Saturday, right? So this shows you the inside, how we work. A 20-something, one of our 20-somethings in our civic engagement arm came to me on that Saturday night before the Tuesday execution and said, Change.org wants to work with us. Can we work to try to save this girl? I've been a journalist for 30 years, and I said, it's Saturday before she's supposed to be executed on Tuesday. No government will change its mind. That's the past. Well, the 20-somethings proved me wrong. And over the span of that Saturday night, going into Tuesday at 1 a.m., President Aquino, spurred by social media, spurred by the actions of people who were affected by what people were doing on social media, he picked up the phone, and here's a funny story. His phone, he was at an ASEAN meeting, and his phone wasn't working. So he asked people to give him a phone so he could call President Jokowi, right? The phone that he found that worked was an old phone, a Nokia phone that was a Hello Kitty pink phone. That's what he called President Jokowi on. And at 1 a.m., President Jokowi stayed the execution of Mary Jane Veloso. Hashtag Mary Jane Lives. We continue that story, but here's where I want to show you how our communities in the Philippines and in Indonesia came together. That's the virtual world and how it impacted the real world. I always talk about it as, the movie Inception, Leonardo DiCaprio, that people went into the dream world to change reality. I think, and we've seen it, you can go into social media to change reality. Another instance, hashtag Million People March. One Facebook post, 7 days to get 100,000 people, Filipinos protesting against corruption in Luneta Park. So these are some of the things. I'll just end with this because I want you to hear Nix's story. Let's go to the tool Reach. And I'm going to see who among you are actually using the Twitter hashtag you're supposed to use. Because, mind you, ISIS is so good at hijacking hashtags. Let's go to Reach. Let's go to, here we go. Click through, and let's type in the hashtag of this summit. Let's click the map, and then please type in hashtag APEC SME Summit 15. And what this tool will do is it will pull down the last 500 tweets and show you how you, if you're tweeting, are connected to everyone else. I call it God's eye view, right? You don't have to have security clearance to have a better understanding of how information flows through our world. There you go. Take a look. APEC SME. Let's click one. Let's click. Go ahead, and you can see which accounts are there, right? And you can see which ones are influencing the dialogue. Tony Fernandez, of course he's there. Let's go to another one. Oh, that's me. I'm sure Davila is there because she has so many Twitter followers. Sorry, Karen Davila. Let's look at one more. Guys, are you not a young millennial audience? Why is this so tiny? Right? That is the power of this technology. That is the power of social media, of big data. It gives us greater new insights for things that we can do together. You can harness the crowd. You can change your world. That's the idea behind Rappler. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ressa.